Hey, I'm Sally McWilliam from Fit with Sally, and this is the pricing on the cake.
Yay!
Yay!
Awesome. Welcome everybody to the first official episode of the pricing of the cake. I have a really special guest here with me today. Not only is Sally one of Australia's leading body positive fitness professionals, she's also one of my best friends, and she's here with me today to help me share some insights around a really special framework with you. Today we're going to be talking about the Stiving Value Table. Now, the Stiving Value Table was created by Mark Stiving, who's a world-renowned pricing expert and a good friend of mine. So value tables are a framework that help us to think about the problems that we're solving for our clients, what we do as solutions to those problems, and the results that we get for our clients, and also the value that our clients get out of it. Sally has very kindly offered to be a bit of a guinea pig for us today. I'm going to be talking to her about one of her main services. We're going to go through a value table together. Now, there's a lot of different ways that you can use value tables, and this conversation is usually about an hour, 2 hours long. It's not something that you do with your customers. It's usually something you do either by yourself or with a business partner or with your team is a really good idea too. And there's a lot of insights that you can get out of this framework, and I highly encourage everyone to give it a go, and that's what we're going to demonstrate today. So you'll get a chance to get a bit of an inside look into what it's like to have a pricing conversation with me.
Great. Yay, let's do it.
All right, let's get started. So what you want to do, and for those of you listening to this on a podcast version of this episode, there is a video version. We're filming this as a video and it's going to be up on YouTube. I highly recommend watching it because I'm going to be using some visual cues to help you today. So the first thing you want to do is on a piece of paper or on a spreadsheet, you want to draw up 4 columns. And at the top of those 4 columns, you want to write the letters PSRV. Also need to make a side comment here because I prefer to do it SPRV.
Okay.
But Mark told me that I should do PSRV because that's the way he does it. So I'll do that today. So here are the 4 columns, PSRV. So P stands for problem, S stands for solution, R stands for result, and V stands for value. Now we're going to start in the S column because that's the easiest one for you to do as the seller of your thing. S doesn't stand for seller, by the way. It stands for solution, just as a reminder.
What about Sally?
Yeah, it stands for Sally.
Sally
there you go.
is the solution.
Sally is the solution, everyone. We've got it. We've done. Okay, bye, everyone. All right, so first up, we're going to start in the solution column. So now, Sally, what's the service that we're talking about today?
So we're talking about one-on-one personal training, which is the main part of my business.
Sure. So that's one of your main offerings?
Yeah.
Yep, sure. So we want to look at one specific aspect of your service, and that's going to be a solution. So can you tell me an aspect of your private training?
So let's talk about in-home sessions. So where I go to someone's house and provide the session for them at their home.
Sure. So once you've got the solution that you want to focus on, so maybe it's in-home sessions as part of your offerings, you want to write that down in the solutions column. All right, Sally. So thinking about the in-home session, what problem does this solve for your clients? And I want to also mention here that a lot of business owners will talk about problems as the customer doesn't have my solution. So a year or 2 ago, you might have said, well, they don't have access to a really great personal trainer, or, oh, they can't have in-home sessions. But that's a problem from your perspective as the seller. What we want to talk about is the problem from the customer's point of view. So thinking about the in-home session as a solution, what is the problem that the customer's facing from their point of view that's a solution for?
So I might say the problem is they want to feel fitter and stronger, but they're really uncomfortable with the idea of doing that in public.
Okay. Yep. Sure. So how would they say that in a first person sense?
I want to feel stronger. I want to feel fitter. I want to feel more flexible, but I'm too nervous, or I'm too scared, or I'm too anxious to do it in a park or at a gym. And I don't want to be in front of other people. I'm worried about what they'll think of me.
Yeah, that was really good. There's a few key points there too. You talked about things that were very emotive, and that, you know, when we think about problems from our customer's perspective and we can put it in an I statement, that helps us get to language that really resonates with our customers a lot as well. You know, you talked about things like, I feel anxious, I feel uncomfortable, I feel scared. You know, those are feelings that your customers are feeling. And when they hear that or they read that, you know, on your website or that, it resonates so much more than, oh, you don't have in-home training. You know,
right.
That doesn't mean anything to anyone.
Yes, yeah.
But if the problem that your customer is thinking of is, well, I want to be fitter and stronger, but I don't really feel comfortable exercising in public, public, then that's what's going to be causing them pain. Right. And so that's the problem that we want to be talking about. In each of the columns that we're going through in the value table, we really want to be thinking about things from the customer's point of view, right? And in their language, because that's then going to help us get the language to using our websites, our social media, our offerings, our pricing, everything to make it more impactful and more magnetic for people.
Okay.
So next step, once you've chosen your solution, you want to think about the problem from your customer's point of view, and you want to write that problem down. It's really, really good if it's an I statement. And if it's things that are emotive, so things that will make, resonate with your customers in terms of the emotions that they feel when they think about this problem, because that is so much more powerful and effective when we go to communicate about that. So you want to write that down in the problem section. All right, so we've got the problem here. So the problem for the example that Sally's giving us in terms of the in-home sessions is I want to feel stronger and I want to feel fitter, but I'm uncomfortable exercising in public. The solution Sally has for that is an in-home session where she comes to your house and works out with you. So Sally, talk to me about when they have that as a solution, what is the result that they get?
Just one?
You can give me many if you like.
Yeah.
Yep. You can do more than one. And also as well, like when you're doing this exercise, you can have multiple solutions for one problem. You can have multiple problems for one solution. You can have multiple results for one problem. Like it's a very flexible framework. It's great for brainstorming, and it's great to think of as many things as you can. Okay. The more that you think of, the more you're actually getting inside your customer's mind, and you're getting to know how are they thinking when they're thinking about buying from me. That's just going to help you market better, price better, everything.
So the result, I would say they feel more comfortable within their bodies. They're able to do things that they weren't able to do beforehand, and they enjoy the process. And that's a big part of it, enjoying the process.
Awesome.
There's no anxiety or nerves around the exercise sessions because they feel safe in their home.
Yeah.
So they're enjoying the process of becoming fitter and stronger, and that leads to a more vibrant life. That leads to doing things that they couldn't do before, like play with the kids, get in the garden, try to stand up paddle boarding down at Gravy Bay, or get out and living life.
Oh, that's awesome. That's really, really cool. I know that I've personally experienced a lot of those results for myself. I've been working out with Sally for quite a while now, and there's been a lot of big, like really like tangible changes in my life, and the things that I'm able to do, and just, having more energy with the kids and just being able to spend more time with them and not getting puffed out and not getting tired as quickly and things like that. So normally when we're doing this exercise, the things that we write down in the results column are something quantifiable. So it might be something like when you're doing these in-home sessions with them, people end up sleeping an extra hour a night, or they can do an extra hour or two of work a day because they've got greater energy and things like that. So if you had to put, based on your experience with your clients, if you had to put the result into something quantifiable, what are some of those quantifiable results that you would have? It is a bit harder.
This is a tricky one.
Yeah, it is. It is pretty hard, especially with B2C, right? Because it's not like you're working with a business and there's a quantifiable thing of like, saved hours or improved retention or increased conversion or increased sales or things like that. It is a lot harder. So this is quite challenging, but you can do hard things.
Which is something I tell Courtney all the time, and now it's back at me.
I know, you gave me a really hard workout yesterday, so I'm just returning the favor.
That's fair. So what about something like pain reduction? I find that's something pretty tangible that a lot of my clients say that they feel when working with me. It might be a physical pain, like a reduction in back pain, or it might be an emotional pain.
Can you make it quantifiable? What does that lead to? If I have less physical pain, what sort of things does that lead to? Or if I have less emotional problems, what sort of things might that lead to?
Well, I want to say more confidence and more basically living the life that you want to live, but that's not it's not quite that's wrong.
It's more no, it's not wrong. So one thing I'm thinking is if I'm feeling more confident, maybe I go to twice as many networking events. So I have twice, so that's something quantifiable, right? So maybe if I'm
yes. So I've actually just moment. A client just shared some feedback with me this morning. So we've been working together for almost 2 years, and she's a business owner as well. And she mentioned to me that she was able to have more mental clarity and more focus after our sessions. So we work together twice a week, and then she sets aside study time for 2 hours after our sessions. And she's told me she's able to, her mental clarity is better, her focus is better, and that has led her to finishing her study courses more quickly than she could before we started working together.
Wow, that's awesome. That's quite a good result, actually.
Yeah.
Well done.
Yes. Oh, well done to both of us. Yeah.
Yay. I love little like wins and stories like that. It's so cool.
I'm really happy she was able to achieve that.
Yeah, that's really cool. All right, so sticking with that, let's go to the next column, which is actually the hardest one. Now, this one is the hardest one for everyone. Again, it's a bit easier for B2B because you can track results, right? You can usually track value. If you know that a result is, you increase conversion rate by 10% or something, then you can just convert that into a dollar amount. And that's what we try to do in the V column, the value column, is we make it a dollar value. We want to make it an economic value, which basically just means money. I don't know why, but in business we have to like come up with all these jargon terms to make everything sound smarter, but it really doesn't. It's not smart.
It's the same in the fitness industry, actually.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. You'll hear all this jargon about fat burning 2000, exo science, muscularity, and it just means, drink some caffeine. That's
okay. So coffee is good.
Coffee is good.
It actually sounded like a 2 a.m. infomercial. Fat burning 2000. All right, so the value column, what we want to think about is what's the value of that result to the customer. And again, we normally like to do this in a dollar value amount. It is pretty tricky. It's easier in B2B. We can't always do it. I know that we've talked before about some examples of economic value for your customers who are consumers. So talk me through, let's say that example that you just shared of the lady who finished her course sooner. Tell me what the economic or monetary value of that might be for her. What do you think?
So this client has communicated to me that because she's able to get through her study course quicker, she's able to break further ground with her business sooner than she would be able to otherwise. And that means she can earn more money, which is going to benefit herself and her family.
And I know that we talked before about some other sort of future monetary gains that your clients make through working out and things like that with you. So do you want to share some of those as examples?
Yes. After a long pause. So some clients have been able to share with me that with improvements in self-confidence, they've been able to go for that raise and they've nailed it, which, might have been a really hard battle beforehand. Other clients have shared with me taking less sick days, which we all take sick days. We're all going to get sick from time to time, but the healthier you are and the more resilient your immune system is, which is what I can help clients with, the less sick days you'll take. So that's more money in the bank. Injury prevention is a big one. If you're injured, you might not be able to work. If you have surgery in a fitter body, you'll be able to recover faster, which means you can get back to work, which means your family's financially better off and you're better off. In the long term, looking really long term, clients have told me they've been able to benefit from less risk of heart disease, less risk of cancers, less risk of osteoporosis, less risk of arthritis, all those things that don't sound too sexy, but all of that just means more money in the bank.
Yep, exactly. A lot of really good things there as well. And I mean, the other thing too is that it's not just the impact on the person, the individual, it's on their family.
On the families.
If you go longer without developing, serious illnesses, kidney, heart disease, diabetes, that's also then saving the impact on the family members who then might have to care for them. There are a lot of adults in their 30s, 40s, 50s who are then caring for their elderly parents. Maybe they get sick and then they have to start working part-time rather than full-time, right? So if you go through life and you are healthier, then there's less impact on your family as well. And sometimes there's genetic things as well that you can't be helped, but it makes an impact, definitely. I'm guessing if you're healthy and fit and
it does
things,
it certainly does.
So we're going to do another solution now. So another solution that Sally offers as part of her offering is some text messages. So Sally, can you tell us a little bit about what they are and why you do them?
One of the main problems I find when people want to get started on a fitness program, and I have this problem too, I too am a person, is sticking to it and being held accountable. If you're anything like me, I suck at holding myself accountable. That's where Courtney helps me. No, really. So I came up with the idea of checking in with my clients once or twice a week at a frequency that works for them and that's appropriate then for what's going on in their life. And that's with text messages. It's really simple. It's quick. It's easy. Everyone has access to a smartphone and it's in your pocket. So text messages is a service that I offer to my clients to help them stick to their routine more easily and to help hold them accountable so that they can achieve the outcomes that they want.
Awesome. That was really good. Well done. So let's put it in a value table now. Okay. So we're going to put text messages in the solution column. Then we're going to move over to the P column, the problem column, and we're going to think based on the text messages as a solution, what is the problem that you're solving?
Okay. So the problem that I'm solving is falling off the wagon. I don't really like using that phrase, but for simplicity, we'll use it today. It's really common. Mm-hmm. Everyone experiences it, and the text messages solve that problem.
Okay. Could you put it in an I statement? So if your customer was thinking, I
really want to improve my fitness and my strength, but I lose motivation.
That's a good one. Any other problems you can think of that solution solves?
I've tried other things before, but I can't hold myself accountable.
Okay, great. So we've got the solution is the other text messages that you send to clients to keep them from falling off the wagon, as you said. So the problems are, I want to increase my fitness, but I don't have the motivation, or sometimes I lose motivation.
Yes.
And I want to stay on track, want to stay on the wagon, but I can't hold myself accountable.
Right.
Okay. And so the text messages solve that problem.
Yeah.
So when the text messages solve that problem, Sally, what is the result?
The result is that they achieve their goals quickly, safely, and they feel friggin' amazing.
Love it. You should put that on a bumper sticker.
That's not a bad idea.
I work with Fit with Sally and I feel friggin' amazing.
That's a good idea. I'm just going to write that down.
What am I here for? It's why you pay me, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Come make me bumper sticker.
All right. So take that result now and try to turn it into something quantifiable.
Okay.
I want to increase my fitness, but I lose motivation. The solution is the text messages that you send. And the result in something quantifiable, if you can, what is the result that the client actually experiences?
Okay, so if I have a client who wants to be able to run or wants to be able to, let's say, walk up to their office without getting out of breath. So often clients say to me that they want to be able to walk up the stairs without getting out of breath. By them receiving those text messages, they stay on track. Mm-hmm. I'll nudge them as a reminder to go up the stairs. So they'll do that a couple times a week. Then in 4 weeks, they're able to walk up the stairs without being out of breath. Right. They feel a really wonderful sense of achievement, and the physical, on the physical side, it's easier. It's easier to get around throughout your day.
Awesome. Sure. So they went from being worried about losing motivation or maybe losing motivation and not staying on track to actually staying on track. They're doing things consistently.
Yes.
They're getting the results, the fitness results they want sooner, I'm guessing, than later. And they're actually getting the results that they want. So rather than not increasing their fitness, they get to increase their fitness.
Exactly.
Because you're sending them text messages that nudge them.
That nudge them and holds them accountable and just gently reminds them to do what they want to be doing.
Yeah, sure. So from that result then, so let's take that example of someone being able to walk upstairs without getting out of breath. What's the value to them?
So I think that there is an emotional value here where people feel good about themselves. I think we can be really self-critical, and it can be just kind of annoying to walk up the stairs and be puffed out.
Yep.
So there's a mental load, an emotional load that's taken off your shoulders. You feel good walking up the stairs. And I think feeling good, while it's a very simple sentence, it's such an important part of day to day. So feeling good, feeling that sense of achievement, the value goes beyond that in not having achy knees, so less pain, not being frustrated with a body that doesn't move the way you want it to be. So less frustration with self, more confidence in your physical self. And that more confidence can lead to things further on in life, like going for that raise.
Yeah, definitely. And you mentioned before too, not having achy knees. I'm guessing achy knees could lead to things like trips to the physio or,
yeah, that's
like that.
right, Courtney.
So there's saved money there.
Yes. Yeah, that's right. So quite often what can start with an achy knee can end up in a $500, $1,000 physio bill, which is not nice. And that can end up with more time off work, which can be a lot more money again. So little things like the text messages can result in
saving money.
It can result in saving money. Yeah.
Awesome. That's really, really cool. And so what do you find in terms of, going through an exercise like the Stiving Value Table. What sort of insights do you get out of it? I know that we had a really big conversation about it before at the Coconut Coffee House quite a while ago now, a couple of months ago.
Yeah.
We were talking about another service offering, but I remember that you said you got a lot out of it. Would you mind sharing like some of the insights that you got out of it, what it helped you learn about yourself, about your business, about your customers,
Sure.
that sort of thing?
It really helped me take an idea from what was, I think, a pretty good idea, but a bit of a jumbled mess in my head, to breaking it down into its separate components, seeing how this service can really add value to my clients' lives. It was also really helpful to me. It was helpful. You were able to help me use language that my clients might use. I think as a business owner, it's easy to get inside your own head and use your own words.
Yeah.
We know how our service or our products benefit our clients,
Yep.
but it can be hard to get that language out. So that was really helpful. I found it helpful as well doing it in sections rather than just having this big one idea and then trying to offer it to the public. Breaking it down into the problem, the solution, the result, and the value. Sectioning it that way was good for my brain flow, but good to be able to break the service down into its different parts and see how each part relates to the overall end game.
Yeah. And in terms of pricing, how do things like the value table help you with that?
So it's definitely helped me feel more confident in my prices. I've been working through a few issues around my confidence in pricing, which I'm sure is pretty common.
Yeah.
Over the past year or so, and looking at the value that I do provide my clients and really getting it down on paper, I think is a big one as well. And seeing, oh yeah, I do that cool stuff for my clients. This is what I do is pretty cool, and it can really help enrich their lives. It makes me feel more confident in the prices that I earn.
Yeah, awesome. So doing an activity like this is perfect, as Sally said, in terms of being able to really nut out what the value is that you give your customers. Most business owners, if I ask people point blank, what's the value of what you do for your customers? Most people can't answer it. They just kind of stand there like, and it's okay because it's not really something that's emphasized or taught a lot in, business degrees or business courses and things like that. And most of the time, like when you have a pricing problem or even a marketing problem, it's actually really just a value problem, an understanding value. It's really just misunderstood. And I think that Mark has done a great job of formulating up a framework that helps people kind of break it down piece by piece, and you work through, and it helps you to think in your customer's mind, right? You get out of like your head where all of your ideas and your knowledge are, because your customer has no idea. Like I have no idea what, half the stuff you talk about in terms of like the muscles and the, what was it, like metabolically inefficient. And I'm like, as a customer, that doesn't mean anything to me. What's meaningful to me is I can play with my kids and I don't get tired, so tired that I can't cook dinner or can't work in the evenings because I need to. What's meaningful to me is getting more sleep at night or having better, stability of mood and things like that. Lots of things that exercise obviously help with, but also long term, like it's going to save you money, hopefully not having like diabetes and heart disease and liver disease and cancers and things like that. That's going to save you money and emotional turmoil and
absolutely
an impact on my family. And those are things I really, really value. When you start to think in terms of what I value as the customer, that's when, you grow, as you said, that confidence to charge better prices in your business. And I've seen those sorts of changes in you as well, which has been really cool to watch.
And getting these words on paper as well, it helps me build more confidence, not just in my prices, but knowing that I know my business inside and out, so that when people come up and if someone were to happen to ask me on the street, what value do you provide for your clients? And that someone looked like Courtney, that I'd be able to talk them through it, and I'd be able to do it confidently. And I know that when I price when I'm confident in my prices, that'll come out in the way that I communicate that to my clients, and that will lead to more conversions, and that will lead to more profitability for me, which means I can grow my business more. So I have found this out of all the things that we've done together. I've found the pricing table, the value table to be really helpful on many levels.
Yay!
And other such compliments. No, it's good stuff.
Awesome. That is really, really cool.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Sally, for joining me today. And I hope that this has been not too like painful or anything.
Not at all. I've actually found it, I've found this helpful again, just reiterating, you know, some of the stuff I already know, but it's always good to go over these things. So
absolutely.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, cool. High five.
Yay!
Yes. All right. Episode 1 is all done. Please don't forget to subscribe if you'd like to catch up with more of the episodes online, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.